Alright guys, it's that time of year again to do a top 10 list. Today we're taking a look at my top 10 favorite VR games of 2018. So many good VR games came out this year between the PSVR and the PC. And there's so much good stuff to choose on in VR right now. So let's go ahead and check out my top 10.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so we're here today to do our top 10 VR games of 2018. I'm a really big fan of VR. Obviously this channel's basically half dedicated to VR, along with like other things that I do, like Nintendo Switch reviews, gameplays, and you know, other random things throughout the channel, technology reviews and stuff like that. But VR is, you know, one of the passions that I have, so I was really excited to do this list and give you guys a top 10 of the year. There's always that stigmatism with VR that, oh, there's not any good games. They're all short games. They don't have any oomph into the game and all that kind of stuff. So this list right here proves to you how much, and this is a small taste because I could have made it top 20 or top 30 games for VR. But top 10, these are the cream of the crop games. So these are in order. Obviously, the first being the best, the 10 being the, not as good as number 1, but still amazing regardless. So let's dive right into the review, shall we? Or the top 10, I should say, not the review. I'm so used to saying that. So, at number 10, we start off with Sprint Vector on PC, PSVR. It's on all the platforms, Oculus Rift and HTC Vive. And I actually reviewed this game on the channel, and I love this game. If you ever took a game like Mario Kart and you wanted to put it into the game, and wanted to get your body active and stuff like that, this is it. This is literally Mario Kart in VR. You move around with your arms like this. You wave them back and forth, side to side, to move, and you're basically like skating, at fast speed motion. You're picking up items against other people. You're throwing it at other people. It has a lot of creative tracks in the game. It has online as well. You can also play against the computer if you want to. It has cross-platform support, so you can play against people who have PSVR and on PC as well. So a really, really solid game with Sprint Vector. Very unique. And Survios is like one of my favorite developers in VR. They're always making great games. And Sprint Vector is one of their games as well. There's nothing else like that. And if you want the Mario Kart feel in VR with like really cool graphics and stuff like that, this is one you guys definitely need to check out. Sprint Vector at number 10. Number 9, we move into Pixel Ripped 1989. Another one of these games that I reviewed on the channel. Most of these games I probably reviewed on the channel, or almost all of them, just because obviously these are my top 10. So I probably shared them with you guys because I like them so much. So Pixel Ripped 1989 is another one of those games that exists on all the platforms, PC, Oculus Rift, and PSVR as well. If you're a really big fan of retro games and stuff like that, and in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, this is another one of those must-check games. Basically, the way that the game works is that you're playing on a Game Boy in front of you, and you're trying to beat the levels. It's a really hard game, actually, especially in the later levels. But while you're doing that, you're in a classroom, and you're trying not to get caught by the teacher, so you have to, throw spitballs at her, or throw spitballs at different things around the room, and some crazy zany stuff is always going around you. And, you know, the way that the world interacts and throws nostalgic things at you from the 80s and 90s and retro games from back in the day. There's literally things everywhere filled for Nostalgic Valley for the whole entire decade and stuff like that. Really, really unique game, too. It runs really well, of course. It looks good. It's very different than what other games are like there, and I really took a taking into this game. As a big fan of the 90s myself, as you guys have seen in my previous videos with the 90s, and being born, late 80s, early 1989, 90s is all my childhood was, and this game brought all those feels back with a lot of different variety of stuff that they did. So definitely check this one out, guys. That is Pixel Ripped 1989, number 9. At number 8, we have Windlands 2 on also all the platforms, PC, PSVR. Another one of the games that I reviewed on this channel, I believe. Or maybe I thought I did. I don't know. You guys might have to check the channel to see if it's there. But Windlands 2 basically took everything that made the first one good and just took it up a notch. This one lets 4 of your friends go into there and basically live out your Spider-Man dreams. And I was actually nervous when I first got this game. And I almost didn't play it and didn't want to review it or anything like that, because when I first looked at it, I was like, this game has to get me sick. Like, I don't really get motion sickness in VR, but when it comes to like weird movement, like flying in the air and stuff, I can get a little queasy sometimes. I may have to take some breaks after 15 or 20 minutes. And I was shocked myself. I was literally in there feeling like Spider-Man, whipping through the city. After like 10 or 15 minutes, you get the feel of it. And the more you play, the better you get at it. And you basically explore this world. You can do it by yourself or with up to 3 of your other friends. Living out your Spider-Man dreams, basically, with the way you're moving and web slinging around and stuff like that. It feels so natural, it feels so good. Really makes you feel like you're flying. And then obviously you have the bow in the game as well. So because obviously there's enemies to take over and enemies to kill with your bow and stuff like that, and gives it a unique feel because you can basically, once you get good, you can start grappling onto something around the level while you're trying to beat a boss, fling around, turn around behind them, and then whip your bow out and then shoot them, you know, where you need to shoot them. So really, really fun game, especially with your friends. A lot of cool exploring with your friends, and a lot of, you know, fun moments in this game. Definitely one you guys need to check out. Windlands 2 at number 8. At number 7 here, I kind of cheated a little bit because I couldn't decide between the two, and it's basically Creed Rise to Glory and Knockout League. Now, these are both boxing games. Creed Rise to Glory is another one made by Servios, like Sprint Vector was, and Knockout League is a boxing game as well, but they're very different from each other, which is why I put them both on here to let you guys decide because they're both really, really good. Creed Rise to Glory is one of the newer ones. I did do a review on this one on my channel as well. Basically, it is boxing like you think it is. It's realistic boxing and stuff like that. You're going into the ring, you're fighting all these characters. Has online play as well, which is what separates it a little bit from Knockout League, because Knockout League, as far as I know, unless if something changed recently, does not have online play. And it's very realistic, very you know, true to boxing form, and you know, it's a lot of fun to play that game if you're really into boxing and playing against PvP against online, talking to people and boxing them out. And hearing them when you knock them out is always fun. Now, what separates Knockout League is Knockout League if you went to the other side of the table, and what you did instead of playing that, a real boxing game, you went and played something like Super Punch-Out on the Super Nintendo and stuff like that. It's got that graphic style, that kind of arcadic action where you're going in there and you're just wailing on people and just having a lot of fun boxing. It's more of the arcade experience of the boxing. So they're both really good. I love them both. If I want to play a realistic boxing game, you got Creed. And if you want to just have fun, show your friends and stuff like that to you know, do Knockout League then instead. These are all on Creed Rise to Glory is definitely multi-platform, just like the other game. Knockout League is definitely Oculus Rift and HTC Vive. I don't know if that has been released on PSVR. I believe it was, but so that's Creed Rise to Glory / Knockout League at number 6. At number 5 here we have Moss, originally an exclusive for PSVR, and I never got it when it first came onto PSVR, and I finally came to PC, and I finally got into this game, and I you know, it's a great game. It's an action, like puzzle adventure kind of game where you're a little mouse character and you're going through these levels, and you know, the scale of these levels and the way that you're moving around and the intricate puzzles that you're doing is really fun. Interesting story as well. I believe the game is somewhere around 5 to 6 hours, so it's a pretty meaty experience as well. Like I said, it is for PSVR and also finally came along here to the PC crowd. Obviously, it looks a little bit better on PC, but either platform you pick it up on is great. And it's a really, really solid platformer / puzzle adventure game, guys. There's not a lot of games like it. It's definitely the standout game. One of the standout games for a lot of other people out there. They rate it as the #1 game of the year sometimes. So it's very highly regarded by all the critics out there. And it made my number 5, Moss. Number 4 is a game that I'm sure you guys know, don't need any introduction on. This game has been talked about a lot. And that is Beat Saber. It actually just recently released finally on PSVR and has been on the PC side of things for a long time. And this game is amazing. If you ever wanted to play DDR in VR, but even better so, instead of moving around your feet, you get 2 giant lightsabers and you have to like slash these boxes that are coming at you. And you know, they did release some tracks. I believe it came with 10, and they're planning on releasing more tracks. They already released some new tracks on the PSVR. But what their hope is to be able to let you create their own tracks and let them release new tracks. But there's actually already a hack online where people are already creating their own tracks and just putting them into the game. Those aren't as good as the tracks that come with the game, for sure, made by the developers of the game. So I hope that they keep releasing DLC and stuff for new songs, because either they're really, really hard when it comes to the fan-made ones with the way that they're doing it, and there's no easy mode or stuff like that for some of the songs, or it's just not as good as far as following the beat and slashing it as the way the beat comes around. So, but still, it's fun that it's there, and it's fun that people are creating tracks just in case, and there's not much else to say this. I mean, it's awesome flinging that lightsaber around and knocking all these tracks down. It's just so much fun to do stuff like that. So, at number 4, Beat Saber, PC and PSVR. Coming down to the top list here, at number 3 is a relatively new game. We're sticking a PSVR exclusive here, and this is Tetris Effect. Tetris Effect. I'm not even a big fan of Tetris to begin with. I like Tetris. I dabbled in Tetris. It was my first game that I probably ever got as a kid. When I got my tonsils out, I got Tetris on the Game Boy when I was in the hospital. So I have fond memories of the game, but I was never like this crazy fanatic. But damn, this game is freaking awesome, guys. Even if you're not like the biggest Tetris fan, go check this game out, because it is freaking awesome. It's basically, as you can see here, you're playing Tetris, but there's so many different effects going on around you, and they put you in different environments and stuff. I'm not going to spoil too many of the things, but there's like water levels and stuff like that that really put you into different environments, and really playing Tetris and the way that the things interact and the effects interact with the beat of the music that's playing in the background. It's just a crazy experience. A lot of people even say that this is a great game even without playing on VR. They just play it in 2D form, and they still love the game. I actually have never played it like that. I've only played it in VR because that's how I think it should be played, because it adds so much to the depth and feel and the way that the music all surrounds you. Definitely play this game with a nice pair of headphones, and have at it, guys. There's a lot of different levels to this game, and just a lot of cool things, and I've never played Tetris like this before, and you guys should definitely check this one out. That is Tetris Effect at number 3 exclusively for the PSVR. At number 2, this is another exclusive for PSVR only, and it exclusively uses the aim controller. And of course, I'm talking about Firewall 0 Hour. When I first saw this game at PAX, I was looking forward to this game from day one. I played it at PAX, and it's basically a 4v4 Rainbow Six style shooter in VR, and you're going in there, you're technically moving around the maps and stuff like that and trying to kill the other team tactically with different weapons and different things that you unlock, and it has a nice progression system in the game for unlocking new weapons and new attachments and stuff like that. Teamwork is key in this game, and it's fun to have a VR game that you can actually coordinate with your team and people are talking and stuff like that. This is one of the games out there that I hear the most people talking in mics and stuff like that, so it's always a lot of fun. And the shooting feels great, and then the aim controller is top-notch in this game. It really makes you feel like you have a gun in this game. And it's just so much fun to play, and really, when it gets down to that 1v1 and your team's watching you, because if your team is dead, they're watching you looking through your camera, and they can tell you where the other person is and stuff like that, so it gives you, the team, something to do, because they can look around the map and tell you where they are. And it's all falling down on you. It's just crazy hectic at the end. The graphics look really good in this game for what they are. It runs really well. I hope that they keep supporting the game. It looks like they may well be doing so to support this game. They just announced a new map here recently, so that's a new map that's coming to the game. They've been doing fixes and stuff like that since the beginning. So I hope they keep it up. This is a great game. Maybe we'll see it on PC one day. Maybe they got like a year exclusive. I'm not sure. But regardless, this is a great game to own PSVR for, and that is Firewall 0 Hour at number 2. Now, number 1 is another game that I also reviewed on the channel, like most of these games on the list. And when I first played this game, I kept hearing everybody talk about it. Everyone kept saying that this is VR's Mario moment of how good this game went. And I was like, I really got to play this game. I really got to buy this game and check this game out to see what this game is talking about. And of course, I'm talking about Astrobot Fire Rescue on PSVR, another exclusive for PSVR fans. And goddamn, is this game good. I'm not going to spoil every single part of this level, but basically there's 25 levels in the game, and you're basically going through each level, and you're trying to find these little Astrobots within the level. They can be underneath you, they can be around side, you're moving, looking around, looking underneath you, pulling things back, and they use the controller in interesting ways. They use your head in interesting ways on how to do things in certain levels and what they're doing with the mechanics and stuff like that. And the level design is just so good. It definitely reminds me of like a Mario type moment, because the levels are so intricately designed with VR in mind, and this game wouldn't work without VR. Sure, you may be able to play it, but it wouldn't be anything without VR, because the way that you look around the level and look underneath and experiences that you're getting in VR is not anything you can get in 2D. Like, this game was specifically made for VR, and it shows through and thin with all the design choices that they made, all the cool things that they throw at you, and the level, every single level adds something new, and every single level is always throwing something at you, and you're like, God damn, I wonder where they're going to go to next, because that level was awesome. Every single level was so good. All the bosses are so much fun to play, and they give you little challenges when you beat the levels and stuff like that. I can't say enough good things about this game, guys. I have beaten this game, and it's my favorite game of the year by far, and it's exclusively on PSVR. It's definitely the must-own game if you have a PSVR. So many games on this list are PSVR exclusive, guys. They're killing it over there at Sony, and I love my Oculus Rift because the controls are obviously much better than what you can get on PSVR with the motion control, so I hope that with the Gen 2 that gets fixed, and they add better controls and stuff like that, like the Oculus Rift has, but goddamn. Between Astrobot, Firewall 0 Hour, Tetris Effect being exclusive to PSVR, so much good content there this year that came out for PSVR. On top of all the other games that I mentioned, they're multi-platform and stuff. So much good stuff to play, guys. So that is my top 10 games of the year in VR, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the list. I hope you guys found something that maybe you haven't heard of or maybe you wanted to know more about. Like I said, I reviewed almost every single one of these games here. And actually, you know what, guys? I am an idiot because I accidentally skipped a game here. I think I went from Creed Rise to Glory and said that was number 7 and went to number 5, Moss, and completely skipped number 6 because I'm looking at my list and I didn't mention it at all. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm sure you guys are watching this video being like, he just straight up skipped number 6. He only gave us 9 games instead of his top 10. Well, errors happen. And let's talk about number 6 right now. Number 6 is a game that actually was on PS4 first, and then finally came to the Oculus Rift, and I'm talking about Hellblade: Senua Sacrifice. The graphics in this game are outstanding on PC. I played it on PS4 Pro first in 2D mode, played it in VR, and goddamn is this worth a second playthrough in VR. Everybody knows how great this game already was in 2D with the message that they're sending, and the graphics and the storytelling and the puzzle solving and all that stuff. And in VR, it just takes us that other level. When it comes to playing the game in VR, no motion sickness or anything like that, you would think. It obviously plays with the controller. You do have to play with the controller. It's a sit-down experience game. It's a full 6-hour campaign that you're playing through in VR. And even if you bought this game and played it in PSVR, or PlayStation, Jesus, in 2D, it's still worth the second playthrough in VR. That's how good it is. And it just adds so much when you're playing that game in VR and just sitting there with headphones on, listening to all the voices and stuff in the game. I'm not going to obviously spoil the story. It's just a different experience than what you get when you're playing through on PSVR. Or sorry, goddamn, I keep doing that. On PS4. So that was my number 6, guys. I'm sorry that I skipped right over it. That was a brain fart by me when I was looking through this list. So that is my top 10 games. To recap here, at number 10, we got Sprint Vector. Number 9, we got Pixel Ripped. Number 8, we have Windlands 2. Number 7, we got Creed Rise to Glory / Knockout League. Number 6, Hellblade: Senua Sacrifice. Number 5, we got Moss. Number 4, Beat Saber. Number 3, Tetris Effect. Number 2, Firewall 0 Hour. Number 1, Astrobot Fire Rescue. Guys, that is my top 10 games of VR. What's your favorite games? Did I miss anything that you guys really liked this year? Leave your comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this list. Guys, until next time, thank you guys for watching.
Tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.